Well, good morning, and hope your morning's off to a good start. It's been a little bit crazy around here at the Coffee Breaks with Steve studio and household, but we're here, and it's Father's Day weekend. I think we've got some fun things to talk about, and so I just invite you to put on the brakes, grab a cup of coffee, and join the conversation because it's time for Coffee Breaks with Steve. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess I better look at the comments coming in because I see there are already people getting tuned in this morning. And say hello to a few people. Jerry Thompson, good morning. Scott Glavin, good morning. Jason Wheelock, Alan McCormick, Carissa Wheelock, Kathy Glavin. Hi, Kathy. Jerry Zetterval. All right, we got a party going here. I'll fill you in on some fun family stuff here in just a couple of minutes. But first of all, let me say good morning and welcome to Coffee Breaks with Steve on Saturday, June 18th, 2022. If you're tuning in live, do what these people are doing that I've already mentioned. Say hello in the chat. Become part of the conversation this morning because it's not just, I get to ramble nonstop for 30 minutes, but this is your conversation too. So I want to see your comments here. Hi, Carla. So I said I was going to mention some fun family stuff. So Shalane. You know Shalane. She's the one who is often on here telling everybody to drink. Shalane lives in Yakima, Washington, which is about 3.5 hours away from us here in Spokane. And so she has, in her job for the last couple of years, been pursuing her master's degree. I say a couple of years. I don't recall exactly how long she's been working on this. And hi, Brenda. Hi, Rick. Kathy Garlick, hello. Rod Garlick, hello. But anyway, so Shalane is wrapping up her master's studies. And she is actually, let me take these earphones out. She is actually walking for her master's this afternoon. And the university that she's been going through is located near Spokane. And she actually gets to walk here in Spokane. She's in town right now. I don't think she's on. I think she's sleeping in. She is still working on some final projects for her master. She gets to walk today, but there's some things she needs to finish up. I think she was up pretty late last night, but she arrived at our house last night, and she was surprised when she arrived by the fact that her brother Christopher and his little boy Nicholas, who I think many of you know, are here, as well as her sister Carissa's husband Jason, and their little girl Carson. My granddaughter Carson are also here, came into town to surprise her and to be here for her master's graduation ceremony, her commencement ceremony today. So we have got a full house today. As I said, I think Shalane herself may be sleeping in. I don't see her on here yet. I have not seen her wandering around the house yet. Everybody else is up and about, mainly because when you have kids, so Christopher has Nicholas here, Carissa and Jason have Carson here. You don't sleep in when you have kids. Shalane is just here on her own, so she gets to sleep in a little bit. Who else did I see? Kim Baker is on here. Shalane is here. Shalane is here. Okay, very good. Kathy McCormick is on here. Let's see, Kim, I have to look. Did I see and did I say hi to Brenda yet? I think I did, but hi, Brenda, if I didn't. Good meowing and happy Canada. Thank you, Kim. I just had to make sure because if we didn't have that greeting, it wouldn't really be real. Okay, so once again, it's Saturday. It's June 18th, 2022. It was a bit of a rushed morning. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but just, the typical chaos of having a house full of people. We just moved into our new house, as many of you are aware, a little over a week and a half ago. So now we have our first test of what is a house full of guests like. And just some technical things this morning, trying to get the internet to come alive the way it was supposed to, make sure that we could get logged on and get started. The things that come up. But anyway, we are here. And we are sipping our coffee, our tea, or whatever else you may have in front of you. Please enjoy it. And let's see, what else do I want to mention to you this morning? I think that's it about family. Oh, I was going to say as well, if you are tuning in live, do make sure that you join in the conversation. If you tune in later and you're watching this in recorded mode, please also make your comments. You can still participate in the conversation. We are live on Facebook Live. We are also live on YouTube, and the show is also available to watch later on both of those platforms. So feel free, if you are watching this later on, to participate in the conversation. And yeah, again, remembering as I'm looking at myself and saying, man, I look very shadowy as I was trying to get everything else going. Didn't turn on my normal lights. There we go. Now I look more washed out. What are the special days this week? This is for a few of you out there, and specifically my son-in-law, Jason, who's sitting upstairs right now. And that is that June 18th is Go Fishing Day. I don't think Jason brought his fishing gear with him, and I don't know exactly where I would send him here. There are places to go fishing in the area, I know, but today is Go Fishing Day. If that is one of your hobbies, one of your sports, one of your activities, apparently this is a day to do it. It's another one of those where I wonder why. I mean, people who like to fish don't wait for one day out of the year to go fishing. Not sure exactly why we need a Go Fishing Day, but that's today. It's also International Panic Day. I didn't panic this morning when things weren't coming together as quickly as I would like. I was concerned. I didn't panic. But today is International Panic Day. So wherever you are in the world, apparently it's okay to panic. Looking to see who else may have signed in. If I didn't say hello to you yet, and I haven't acknowledged your name on here, I see Jason is on here. I can't remember. I think I said hi to Jason, my son-in-law, Jason Wheelock. But if I didn't, hi, Jason. Let's see. Also today is not only International Panic Day, but you can't get these mixed up, International Picnic Day. So wherever you are in the world, apparently this is also a day you can go take a picnic. Once again, I understand part of the reason for that is that we are getting into this summer season. Picnics become a little more prevalent, become a little more popular, and I'm sure people are doing that. It's been a bit, it wasn't bad weather here yesterday in Spokane. It rained overnight. It's overcast today. It's in the mid 50s right now outside. I don't know that I would be necessarily scrambling to go have a picnic right this minute, but it is International Picnic Day. So if that suits you, maybe this is the day to do it. Tomorrow is Father's Day, right? Always the fourth Sunday, is that correct? Or is this the third Sunday? I guess maybe it's the third Sunday I'm not keeping track, but it's the Father's Day Sunday. Tomorrow is Father's Day, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about today. It's also June 19th, Juneteenth. This is a day that we celebrate. This is part of our diversity celebrations. Juneteenth is tomorrow, and it's also another international day. It's International Kissing Day. I'm glad to participate in that on a limited basis. Carol is upstairs. I might participate in International Kissing Day very, very selectively. And then the 21st, skipping a couple of days, Tuesday is the official beginning, the meteorological, astronomical beginning of summer, the summer solstice. It's when summer officially begins, although many of us have been celebrating summertime since school got out or since Memorial Day weekend, whatever is your normal practice. And then just looking again, glancing at, yeah, I see that. At the comments, also Tuesday, National Selfie Day. I'm into selfies. I post selfies. I take selfies. You'll see some from me on Tuesday if you go to my Facebook page, I'm sure. If I remember that it's on Tuesday. I don't wait for international days or national days. National Selfie Day is if you live somewhere else in the world, you don't get to take a selfie on Tuesday, just in the United States. The 22nd, Wednesday, this is a good one, National Chocolate Eclair Day. Anybody here big fan of chocolate eclairs? Do you, if you are into chocolate eclairs, do you have a specific, like, do you go to a specific bakery or donut shop to get your eclairs? Are you a homemade chocolate eclairs person? What is your preference on that? To offset the chocolate eclairs, also on Wednesday, it is National Onion Ring Day. And you talk about two ends of the taste bud scale there. And that's, oh, thank you. Yes, we're going to get to birthdays in just a minute here. And then the 24th is 24th. This is an interesting one to me. This is actually something that happens on the fourth Friday in June every year. It is National Food Truck Day. You know, food trucks, those trucks that show up. There's, in some places they're out near the parks. In some places they are present for special events. But the food trucks that serve, like, maybe they serve burritos, maybe they serve churros, maybe they serve whatever it might be, ice cream, specific ethnic types of food. Do you have a favorite food truck or a favorite type of food that you like to get from food trucks? Or do you avoid them because you don't think that they're actually, some of the best food I've had has come from food trucks, and really they are very well set up, they're very clean, they're very well established. But anyway, that's Friday is National Food Truck Day. And then a few birthdays, just wanted to mention this, that come up this week. Not all of these people are on Coffee Breaks with Steve right now, but some of them tune in and make their comments later. Today, the 18th, Scott Larry. Scott is a dear friend from literally my entire life, going back to when I was a very, very wee lad. And we've reconnected with Scott in recent years. And he's celebrating a birthday today. So happy birthday, Scott. Carla mentioned it here. Our sister Corey, who passed away a couple of years ago, would be celebrating a birthday on the 20th of this month. And so even though we may not be able to celebrate in person with her, we think about Corey. We're wishing Corey a happy birthday on June 20th. June 22nd, another friend who right now I think is living and working in Hawaii, of all places, Faith Dubke, who has been a fan of this show, tuned into the show. I think she's currently not tuning in regularly, at least live, because it's much earlier in the morning in Hawaii. But anyway, those are the birthdays that I'm aware of. If you're celebrating a birthday or a special day this week, put it in the chat so that we make sure that we're celebrating with you. We want to acknowledge your day. If you have a special day, June 19th. Oh, Jerry, June 19th is your oldest daughter's birthday. She's 27. Wow, tomorrow. All right, and on Father's Day. Eek. Yeah, I know. As the kids and the grandkids continue to get older, that's what makes me, I don't necessarily feel, well, I feel old when I realize that my body doesn't do things it used to do. But I don't think of myself as old until I start thinking about my kids, my grandkids, and other people's kids who I watched grow up, particularly if I'm not around them a lot. And all of a sudden I run into them again, or I see a post on Facebook or something. I go, wait a minute, they're still supposed to be a child. And then I feel old. Anyway, okay, here we are. Again, I'm going to mention again, if I have not said hello to you and you are here, make sure that you comment, make sure you catch my attention so I can say hello. And we're going to talk about, this is sort of our Father's Day topic. First of all, I do want to say happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Tomorrow, hope you get to celebrate your day. Hope you get to celebrate your weekend. Ours is a special weekend because we do have family together for this one. And it's that doesn't always get to happen. But we're going to talk about TV dads. And, you know, you think about it. I was thinking about this from the standpoint that there are so many shows, sitcoms, dramas, all kinds of shows where dads are portrayed, men are portrayed in the role of being a dad, a father, a stepdad, single dad, a pseudo dad, you know, an uncle or a grandfather or foster dad or something. I mean, you can go back all the way back to the advent of television back in the late 40s, when there were radio programs that featured dads, featured families, and they converted those into television shows, early television shows. I think Father Knows Best was one of those. that started as a radio program and became a television show. Go back. I mean, I remember growing up in the 50s and we watched Father Knows Best. We watched My Three Sons. We watched Leave It to Beaver. And, and I'm curious along the way. I'm glancing at the comments here, and some of them I think are in context, and some I'm just glancing at saying I have no idea. But what were some, if you think back, and we're in different generations here, not everybody on here is going to be thinking back to TV shows of the 50s, but you think about your childhood and the shows that you watched and the shows that had dads represented. We got later on into the 60s, the 70s, you had shows like the Brady Bunch. We had shows, I think, again, like some of the sitcoms that I grew up with, and how the role of dads and how dads were represented in these shows kind of evolved. All right, we went from this time in the 50s when you had Leave It to Beaver and all these shows that were, the dad was kind of went to work, came home, always seemed to wear a tie, even when he was sitting in the evening in the living room, reading his newspaper, reading his magazine, and always handing out wisdom. Andy Griffith, with Opie, and early single dad show, but still handing out the wisdom, a little bit more of the laid back, funny Southern charm with Sheriff Andy, but you still had that sense of the stability that dad provided. And then you get a little bit later on, and I know I'm missing some dads and I'm missing some concepts here. So that's where I'm asking you to fill them in. Yeah, thank you. And I see it's already happening here. And by the way, I see some that you're already mentioning some that were like an animated series. Fred Flintstone in my childhood era, another dad. I Love Lucy, that was an early show that took a real risk on saying that someone was pregnant on TV when Lucy was actually pregnant, and they built that into the show. And then we got to see Desi Arnaz, Ricky Ricardo, as a dad. The Dick Van Dyke Show, early Dick Van Dyke Show. And there were others that I think of in my growing up years in the 50s and the 60s, going into the 70s. And then you kind of had a corner being turned a little bit. And I remember that one of the big controversial shows of the 70s, Norman Lear came out with All in the Family. And now you have Archie Bunker, who is still representing the role of husband and father, but an entirely different characterization of him as a husband, a dad, a human being in general, right? Very, what's the word I'm looking for here? We were talking about it last night. Hang on, I might need more coffee. But you had this idea that all of a sudden, not all dads were wholesome, right? He was racist. He was extremely opinionated. He was extremely conservative, living in a household where his married, very liberal daughter and son-in-law were living in, and the conflicts that took place. And yet Norman Lear managed to still build into some of those episodes some touching moments, and there were some between father and daughter. And there were others. So I want you to mention, so I found a site, and this is just one, and there are a lot of different opinions, but this was a fairly recent article on a site called purewow.com. I don't know how reliable or specific they are, but they mentioned 33 best TV dads of all time. So I'm just going to mention some here, and these come from different eras, I'm sure, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. Just want you to use these as a catalyst to think about some of your own opinions and post them here. Danny Tanner, Bob Saget's character on Full House, is mentioned here. Danny Tanner, another single dad situation with other dad figures around. Christopher Julius Rock II, played by Terry Crews. Everybody Hates Chris. One that's been jumping up a lot in the things I've been looking at recently from again, current era. Jack Pearson, This Is Us. What about Philip Banks, Uncle Phil, played by James Avery in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Will Smith's dad or father figure. Ron Swanson, Parks and Recreation. Again, you get these characters, you go, yeah, but still dad figures, and some great moments in the shows representing them as dads. Michael Kyle, My Wife and Kids. I'm going to kind of breeze through these because I want to be sensitive to our time, but I want these again to be a catalyst for you to think about some that jump out for you. Fred Andrews, Riverdale. Phil Dunphy, Modern Family. You could mention several characters from Modern Family, couldn't you? James Evans Sr., Good Times. John Amos's character, again going back to the 70s. Walter White, Breaking Bad. Interesting, right? Think about that one for a minute. Steve Brady, Sex and the City. Cyrus Rose, Gossip Girl. Gomez Addams, The Addams Family. Think about that one for a minute. How about, I don't know if he's on here, but what about Herman Munster in that same era, right? Adam Braverman from Parenthood. Eric Taylor, Friday Night Lights. William Hill, This Is Us. Al Bundy from Married with Children. Another representation. I kind of almost put Al Bundy in that in a similar category to Archie Bunker in some different ways. Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers. Wow, they have some interesting ones here, and for different reasons, obviously. Sandy Cohen, The OC. Tony Soprano, The Sopranos. Tony Soprano. I mean, that show really did do a lot featuring the fatherhood element in a variety of ways. Frank Costanza from Seinfeld. Frank Costanza, right? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Homer Simpson in The Simpsons. Ned Stark from Game of Thrones. Dan Connor, Roseanne, right? In both permutations of that show and its life. How about Jason Seaver from Growing Pains? Floyd Henderson, Smart Guy. Carl Winslow, Family Matters. It's interesting because I think this brings up a lot of interesting thought processes from our own childhoods and even adulthood. You know, and part of what I'm thinking about here is not only how were fathers portrayed and how did they both reflect society, reflect the culture, reflect the times, but how did some of these characters even influence, right? Because a popular show is also an influence. Popular characters influence. We can come up with all kinds of reasons why maybe they shouldn't, why we shouldn't put these people on a pedestal, or put them on the opposite end and say, yeah, it's we either deify them or we satanize them or emnify them or whatever the word is there. But they do influence, and some of them we look at as the models of how we wanted to be dads growing up or what we wanted our dads to be like, right? Be honest about that. That's part of the truth. Ray Campbell in Sister Sisters, another one. Dre Johnson, Blackish. Louis Huang in Fresh Off the Boat. Flex Washington, One on One. Mike Brady, The Brady Bunch is mentioned here. Burt Hummel in Glee, right? So those are just a few. That was 33 from this article that were mentioned as, what did they title this article? 33 of the best TV dads of all time. I think about one that that isn't mentioned here, but I think still, even though there's sometimes you run into controversy about the actors, but the characters they portrayed were still influential. And I think about the Bill Cosby Show, and think about my mind just went. I need coffee. My mind went blank on Bill Cosby's character's name. I was just looking at it a few minutes ago on another site, but somebody put it up here because I know, and I get that. Yeah, I see Scott put Mr. Cunningham, Cunningham from Happy Days. Oh man, talk about a father figure. I don't know why he's not in this article, but he should have been there. Thanks, Cliff Huxtable. And some people can't go back now and watch the Bill Cosby Show for obvious reasons. I get that. I understand that. But you think about how we viewed that at the time and what the Cliff Huxtable character represented during that time period. It's interesting. So I do want to hear from you. Who were some of the dads that you remember that were the ones that stood out to you, stand out to you right now? If you tune into shows where there are dads, and I mean, we missed a lot even in this list of 33. There are a lot of sitcoms right now. So many more options anymore. between not only all the network shows, but streaming TV shows that occur on so many of the streaming services that are exclusive to them. Amazon Prime originals, Netflix originals, Apple Plus, Disney, etc. Who were some of the ones that you think of when you think of the dads that you watched on TV? And maybe in some cases, what you think about are the dads that you avoided watching because they just got on your nerves. I know some people couldn't watch Archie Bunker because his relationship with his daughter was so contentious. And that was so different from what we had seen. Usually you saw the situations where when there was some conflict, it was resolved at the end of an episode. It was an episodal thing. If Opie got in trouble for something, he and his dad made up by the end of that particular episode. But, I thought of another one from my growing up. I thought about this the other day. Remember Lost in Space, the original Lost in Space? The dad with his family there and trying to protect them from all this danger and stuff. Man, I mean, it was just, we keyed in on that. And those were figures to us. A lot of the Westerns, the early Westerns, the Rifleman and others were portrayed dads in very significant, strong male roles. So I brought that up this weekend. I brought that up for today's show because I do think that as we look at Father's Day, it's not to take anything away from our real dads. In fact, just the opposite. The reason I thought of it this weekend, I thought, we watch so many things. We are influenced by so many characters and characterizations in so many different ways. And yet, in real life, things don't necessarily happen the way they do on TV, right? Fatherhood for me, over the last almost 40 years now of being a dad, now being a grandfather, being an uncle, being a pseudo dad, a step-in dad, sometimes just a pretend dad for other people I've known and other kids that I've known along the way, doesn't follow a plot, doesn't follow a plot line, doesn't follow a script. And I can remember thinking so many different times, I wish there was some kind of a manual or a guidebook for being a dad, because there were so many times that I felt and still feel like I didn't do it right. I didn't always do it perfectly. I didn't always do it like Cliff Huxtable or like Ward Cleaver or like Mike Brady. I couldn't always step in and just be that strong character and be that even-tempered person. So many different times I felt like I blew it. And yet, fatherhood isn't about perfection. It's not about the script. Yeah, we're influenced by people. Yeah, we do have people that we want to emulate in life. And it's good to have those. It's good to see characters that represent our culture and characters even that can influence our culture to some degree. But when it comes right down to it, we're the real influencers. I can still look at my kids. Sometimes they say they grew up great in spite of me. But my hope is that they grew up great because I did influence some things. I see some things, I see some patterns and some habits in their lives. And sometimes I go, oops, that came from me. But sometimes I can nod my head and say, okay, I didn't do it all bad. So my message today, I had to wet the whistle, talking a lot. My message today to all the dads is just a big congratulations and a thank you. Do you always do it right? No, we're human. We do what we do. But I want to tell you this, as you think about celebrating Father's Day this weekend, if you are a wife, if you're a mom, if you're a sister, if you're somebody out there who has the men in your life who are dads, who have been dads, who raised their kids, they're still raising their kids. Maybe in some cases, they're separated from the kids. They may even be alienated from the kids. Take some time this weekend to lift them up. Take some time this weekend to celebrate them. Take some time this weekend. Yeah, think about those TV dads and some of those qualities, but look at the qualities that exist in the real men in your lives. And men, for you, take a moment to look in the mirror and realize that you've done well. You're good dads. If you're a dad out there, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. So all of that just to say, glad that you're here, glad that you're a part of the conversation, glad that you're a part of my life. I wish my own dad was still here. We lost him last year, and I still think about him. I think about the influence. Was my dad perfect? No. but I'll tell you what, he did it right. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to get off my emotional train. I'm going to get off my philosophy train. Thank you for being here. I'll tell you a little bit about what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have next week, I've mentioned this before, next week we are going to be talking about the local coffee shops. And some of you have already mentioned, I don't have anything locally. I live out in the middle of nowhere. But you still, sometimes you may be traveling to a nearby town and you may still have that little place that you drive through, or the place that you like to go to, or the place that you think of. And we're going to talk about the coffee shops, and we're going to try something. Had technical issues from home this morning, so who knows how this is going to go, but we're going to be doing an on-location live broadcast from a local coffee shop and bakery here in Spokane that Carol and I have come to enjoy and frequent. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And in fact, I think I forgot to load my slide. I had a slide talking about that, but I'm not even going to bother to put that up. We had enough issues today. But yeah, we're going to be out there talking about our coffee shops. You may say, I'm not really a coffee drinker, but you may still have some place that you like to go and get the snack and get the cup of tea or the glass of milk or whatever it might be. You can talk about those next week as well. We'll talk about them. And then the week after that is our weekend leading into Independence Day. We're going to be getting close to the 4th of July, and we're going to be talking about independence. We recently took a trip to the East Coast where we spent some time looking at at our history as a country. I'm going to share a few fun facts and ask you to participate in that. So let's take a deep breath. It's time to go. It's at a little after 10 o'clock, and I want to thank you again for being here. I want to just again encourage you, if you are taking time to celebrate anything this weekend, Father's Day, a birthday, Juneteenth, a graduation ceremony, and there are a lot of those going on right now as well. Would you please enjoy your time? And when you think about all the things in this world that can be an influence, I just want to remind you again that you're an influencer. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, you have influence over someone, over someone's, over some things. And so I'm just going to encourage you to find a way to make a difference in your world this week. Thanks for being here. God bless you. Have a great week.